Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Bleeding Crypto's Market Update. Today is Wednesday, August 14th, 11:18 a.m. local time. I hope you're having a good day, morning, or afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. Let me start off by giving my disclaimer. I just want to pretty much simple, make it real simple today. I am not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice. This is for fantasy paper trading. All right, guys. So I have today's video is going to be about altcoin requests. But before we can do any type of altcoin analysis, we have to look at Bitcoin and see where Bitcoin's at, because that's going to affect the overall direction of whatever altcoin I decide to take a look at, depending on the requests that I received. So first things first, let's take a look at Bitcoin. This is the chart that I've been doing with you guys for the past, I don't know, probably I think it was right here when we started that video. So for a good part of a week. And in a week, look, this is all we've done. We've been in this little tight, small range, not much movement between 59, between 57, the high, about 58,000 up to 61,008. So about 62,000. 58 to 62,000 is the range that we've been in. And we know we've had a couple of pushes to the up, little deviations to the upside, some small deviations to the downside, but for the most part, we're kind of just stuck right in here. Now, this here is a range that I'm still trying to carve out that has not confirmed. And this range was established on this drop here, $48,000 being the low, and the loss of the support here at, 60,162. And we've pretty much have been hanging around at the upper part of this like I said, wannabe range. I can't call it a range yet because we haven't really confirmed more than a few touches, more than a couple of touches on the lower time frame, and not even a couple, one touch on the lower time frame, and that's about it. And we've had the majority of the time we've just been here on this upper band. However, I do believe that we are going to be coming down here based on some of the liquidation data that I've been looking at, that we're going to either come back and knock that out or back test this $49,000 area by hitting it slightly above, or maybe doing a quick sweep of these lows and then start heading back up. And at that point, we will have a nice established range until we break clean below it or clean above it. But for right now, the time being, if we go to let's go to the 4-hour time frame. 4-hour time frame. We just had this drop on the CPI numbers, though we did have some liquidation data come in yesterday. When I did a one-day look back, we had at 58,600, we had a cluster of liquidity, and at 58,780 according to DCT Trading's heat maps, and we took that out this morning. So we've taken that out, and now we have cluster above here at $61,790 and up to $63,500. So back in this area here, between here and here, pretty much where the 200 EMA is and this 706, we have a cluster of not only liquidity, but unfinished objectives that I want to see. So at the moment, I am looking for a push higher. The problem is that when I look at an altcoin, I'm going to look at the daily time frame right now. As a matter of fact, let me go to the daily time frame here. Just let me hide these indicators. We don't need these indicators. Coming up here into the daily, in this range right here that I'm looking at, doesn't really give us any direction, to be honest with you guys, because we need to clear. Oh boy, this always happens when I'm doing this here. Okay, this doesn't really clear any major hurdles, because this is still our lower high rule. We came up to it, we rejected off of there, but we're still maintaining and consolidating right below it. Consolidation usually is a very bullish a price action, because it allows the oscillators to reset on the lower time frames. And the oscillators on here on the daily time frame, let me turn those on, they're not bearish. Look at the momentum oscillator. The volume momentum on the MACD continues to print higher lows. So we're squeezing here between the MACD and the cross signal. So there's nothing really bearish other than the fact that we have $300 million in liquidations down here, and a move like this and a V-shaped recovery on the daily is something that's rare. Has it happened? Yes. Does it normally happen? No. The probability is that we come back and back test this here, but once again, it is not a guarantee. So we're kind of in a very difficult spot with the compression of the higher lows and the volume oscillator and the MACD. The fact that we rejected off the lower high rule and we continue to consolidate here, I don't know. I have to wait for the market to give me that direction. So the direction that I'd be looking at would be to invalidate this lower high rule. So if we come back up into this area here and we find acceptance above $68,332 and we're back up in here, then I would say this is invalidated and it's less likely we're going to come back and take out that liquidity and back test this area. And the V shape in this particular instance did play out. Unlike most drops that we've had in the higher time frames where we've come back and back test, in this particular one, we're not going to do it. But I need the market to show me that. I can't just assume that that's going to happen. And I can wish that it's going to happen. I got to see hard factual data supporting that thesis that it's going to happen. So in the event that it does do that, then that puts the analysis of the altcoins in a whole different perspective. So as I move into the alt analysis in a couple of minutes, there's one thing I want you to keep in mind from this, okay? I'm going to give you a bear scenario and I'm going to give you a bull scenario based on this. So if we do come down and we do tag this here to check and remove the liquidity, to basically liquidate the liquidity, the liquidations that are here and or sweep these lows, I believe we're going to bounce. I believe this is the bottom, all right? So with that in mind, I'm going to give an analysis for the downside on support for the altcoins. And if we are going to start moving higher and we do invalidate this lower high rule, I'm going to give you some targets for the upside because I don't know which direction is going to go, but I want to have a plan for either direction that the market goes, depending on which way Bitcoin goes. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to some altcoins. Let me grab... let's see here. Let's grab, you know what? I'll do it right in here. And then I'll bring this back to the US dollar Coinbase so that we can stay with this chart. So let's start with, I got ALGO as a request. So let's type in here, ALGO USDT, and let's look at here. What do we have for ALGO? I'm going to go to the weekly time frame for right now. I just want to see, I want to get a good picture of what's going on with ALGO. Okay, ALGO had a nice run in the last bull market. You can see here where she had a nice dump out, pretty much came into the valley of death, held onto the valley of death, and is basically just sitting at support. There's nothing that this coin has really done. It had a couple of pushes up here last year and early this year, but pretty much gave it all back. So what I'm going to do for right now is I'm just going to zoom in a little bit. I'm going to snap a line here on this area here for the for support. Give me 1 second here. So let me go ahead and just push this line right here. I'm going to go here. I'm not going to take this because this is just a little deviation. We've had more touches on this line. We came back here. We touched it. We had a deviation, swept these lows here, and we've been pretty much right on this line. We had a bounce. When was this? This was about a week ago, 9 days ago. We had a bounce here. We didn't quite touch it, but close enough to say that we're pretty much back at the support. Now, just let me look left for a second here. Okay, this was back in 2020 when we had that big drop. This is kind of where it caught support and it had a nice big move to the upside from there. So at this point, when you look at something like this and you look for you ask me to look at ALGO, I ask myself one thing. If I'm going to buy this coin because I want to buy it for whatever reason, I mean, you guys must look at the fundamentals or whatever it may be, utility. I buy strictly on price action. I don't care what it does. I don't care the use case. I buy if there's an opportunity to make some gains on it. Great. I ask myself one question when I look at something like this: am I buying the bottom or am I buying the top? It looks like I'm buying the bottom with very little risk to the downside. So if you're looking to acquire this for the long term, I think you're in a great position. I think you're in a very, very good position here. Anywhere between here and this support here, this area here seems to be where the market makers are stepping in and where they're willing to buy and put their money where the mouth is. And you can see the results of some of those moves to the upside. So at the moment right now, I think this looks great. I think if Bitcoin does come down and grabs that liquidity at $50,000, you may have a chance to DCA back in here. And there's a pretty clear invalidation here. Now, you have to also think about when it comes to invalidations, when you look at this trend line and it goes back 4 years, it's unlikely this is going to go to zero. Could it happen? Absolutely. but now you know a really clear area where it's going to go. So you might want to give yourself a little bit of leeway in the event that it does have an opportunity to get you into cheaper prices. You may want to not shy away and maybe step in if you believe that this project is going to do what it's intended to do. And I take it that if you're asking me, you look at a chart like this and you're wondering what's going on, TA wise, you're buying, I think, in a very good spot. Fundamentally wise, I don't know what it does, like I mentioned before, but I think even in a TA spot, it's very, very, not only in a TA, but well, again, I don't know fundamentals, but I think you have a very low risk stepping in here. Now, as far as looking at momentum and seeing if there's anything that shows me that any type of momentum's coming in, not the weekly, there's really nothing. There it is. That's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see momentum start building back to the upside, because when I look at the weekly time frame, we're down by support. So if we're down by support, obviously we wanted to pump. Is there anything in the time frames that are showing me that there's going to be a move to the upside? In this MACD, oh man, look at that bull divergence. Oh yes, I like that. I like that. Let me do something real quick, guys. Here. Give me 1 second right there. There we go. All right. So as you can see us consolidate here, guys, consolidation right in here. Look at the MACD. Look at the MACD. Look at that. This is a very, very classic sign, and it's on a daily time frame for a bull divergence. We have RSI move putting in higher lows on the MACD, and price action pretty much flat. This has the potential to have a really nice push to the upside. Keep in mind, please, that if Bitcoin does drop to that $50,000 level, I wouldn't shy away with this type of a bull divergence. I would take that as an opportunity. So if you were to step in right now, I would have a stink bid down here. I would have a stink bid down here to add to my position based on the high time frames bull divergence that I see here. So I very, very much support a move now with the stink bid based on this bull divergence. So I like it. I like it. So there you go. Mr. ALGO SLA, who asked me for this coin. So next one we're going to look at is we're going to look at Rose. So let's look at Rose. Rose USDT. Let's look at that. Okay, Rose, very similar. Don't even have to go to the weekly time frame. Look at the volume oscillator here, printing in higher lows. Look at the RSI. Look at the price action, almost identical to ALGO. So this makes my life much easier, because this looks great. This looks really nice for a move up, keeping in mind that if Bitcoin does go down, I would have a stink bid in this area here to dollar cost average my position, my spot bag, into a really nice average entry, probably halfway, depending on if you use even bags. So if you put the even amount here and you put the same amount you did here and you put here, you can pretty much calculate halfway there. You'll lower your dollar cost average. Let me look at the weekly time frame real quick. I just want to see, based on this support here that we've had that's held pretty well at 38 cents. We're near the bottom. I don't think we're as close to the bottom as ALGO was. However, I still think that it's in a very good position. And look at the weekly time frame. The RSI is almost pretty much reset. We're down next to the oversold. So this coin, TA wise, looks very, very well, not only on the weekly time frame but on the daily time frame, especially with these bull divergence for a good place to start buying or adding to your positions. Again, position here, stink bid here, dollar cost average there, I think would be a very good plan to have. Obviously, use small positions. You can always add to it. So you can open up a startup position here, add another 10% here. And then when it starts to confirm and you flip the 7 EMA into support, you can add the rest of your bag. No big deal. You've already have a nice anchor down in here. So adding above here on confirmation will affect your average price, obviously, but you already have a nice anchor. So it's not like you're buying it all the way up here. You have a nice dollar cost average down into the support area. So I think this looks great as well. Let's look at DOGE, USDT. Once again, looks like all these alts pretty much look exactly the same. Look at the bull divergence, look at the price action, look at the RSI. Nothing different here, guys. Let me just look at the weekly real quick here. This definitely does have a little more to fall than the other two, but once again, RSI on the weekly time frame, pretty much reset. MACD again also pretty much reset with the bull divergence on the daily time frame. No different than what I just talked about ALGO and Rose. Buy here, dollar cost average down here, and you're closer to the bottom than you are to the top. So I would think there's a lot of room for a potential move to the upside. Let me look at TIA. Okay, let me look at the weekly real quick on TIA. I just want to see what's going on with this price action. Let me see if there's a different chart that has more data. I think this might be a new coin. Give me 1 second. Let me look at KuCoin just to see something here. No, it's about the same. Let me look at MEX to see if there's any different. Nope. All right, so they're all about the same. So I will go ahead and let me see OK real quick. Nope, they're all the same. I'll go ahead and use Binance then, just because Binance is the exchange with the most liquidity. So based on this here, guys, first thing I want to do here when I see a move like that, looks like this was a new coin. I want to grab, this was the top, this was a swing fail. I want to come down here and I want to see, did we hit 886? 886 is where the institutions like to step in and hold a price if it's a project that they're interested in. So I just want to see if that is the case on here. Did they yep, they stepped in and bought it. They stepped in and bought it. Perfect. Okay, so this coin here for me has met all the objectives that I like to see on a new coin. On a new coin, I like to see it come out, put a top, come down to 886, show me that the institutions are willing to step in. They prove here that they're willing to step in twice. We put a nice double bottom with a sweep of the lows. You can see here. And the move to the upside, to me, has a very good probability. Give me 1 second. All right, so what we did here, like I mentioned, we had a sweep here of these lows. So this looks really good for upside potential, keeping in mind that obviously if Bitcoin does come down, we may test these lows once again if we come down to sweep that $50,000 liquidity. But again, you can see where the market makers have stepped in. So having a stink bid in this area here, I don't think would be a bad idea. Let me look at the 4-hour time frame real quick here. I just want to see the different indicators. I want to see what we've done. Okay, we're looking really good. Let me look at the daily real quick here. Okay, I like the MACD. I like the RSI. Let me look at the 12-hour time frame. All right, this is looking really, really good. Wow, I really like this coin. Let me go back in here. I don't need the indicators any longer. We're putting in low, high, higher, low, higher, high, higher, low. We didn't quite do a very aggressive higher high. However, I do believe that this is in a very, very good position, putting a bid here and then another stink bid down here. So a lot of these alts are basically looking very, very similar. They're having that bottoming out. They've dropped quite a bit and they're near the lows. So to be apprehensive about buying a low, I don't know, guys. That just seems like it's a no-brainer buying something when it's this close to the low. I've got a request for WIF. Let me do WIF since all these look very similar. I can blast through and do more than 3 that I said I was going to do. So let me take a look at here. Let's see here. Let me look at the weekly real quick. What have we done? All right. Okay. Like every meme coin pretty much comes out and gives it all back. Nothing changes. Let's see where the market makers stopped. Market makers stepped in right at 886, had a deviation here. But look at this. Again, 886. This is where the market makers said, I am willing to buy it on 88 cents on the dollar. I like buying discounts. I like buying wholesale. I am not Twitter. I don't buy tops. I don't buy middles. I buy discounted wholesale prices. That's exactly what they did. Deviation, no big deal. Still think this is a good area here. If you believe in meme coins, these have no utility. They're basically just whatever people decide to wake up and say, hey, yeah, I want to go ahead and buy a coin that has zero utility and is based on sentiment. And I want to just risk the money that I have because I'm able to throw this money away. Buy it. Go ahead, buy it. I particularly don't like, other than a day trade, I don't like holding memes. That's just me. Many people, they hold just memes. Good for you. Whatever works for you, do it. do it. You don't have to follow what anybody else says. It's your money. If you're willing to throw it away, you're willing to burn it, you're willing to do whatever you want with it, that is your prerogative. For me, I just look at the technicals. So if you're looking at technicals, you're buying the bottom. Is it going to continue? What's the catalyst to make this go higher again, to bring this back to all time? I don't know. Doesn't have a use case. Again, it's based purely on sentiment. And if you think that the sentiment's going to come in and it's going to bring this coin back and make you money, then you have your answer. But technically speaking, it's in a great location. It's at the bottom. So not much to say on here. And it seems like that's pretty much the theme. So that is going to be pretty much it, guys. I don't, all these coins, they look so similar and they're all bottomed out that we can probably go on all day and look at, 10 more coins, but they're not going to tell us any different than what I'm looking at right now. I mean, we just looked at about 6, 7 coins and they're all in the exact same area. They're at the bottom. They're at the bottom. If you guys love these coins here, you love it on top, why would you even think twice about buying it down here? Why would you even ask about buying it here? If you loved it here, you were all gun-ho, kumbaya, let's go to the moon. But now what happened? They're so great. Buy them. You guys love memes and you guys love these coins when they're up here. And if you believe so much when they were here, I don't know, why don't you believe when they're down here? I think you would believe even more, right? Because you have another opportunity to make more money. I mean, you did believe that this was going to go higher and it didn't. So you should have the same conviction down here at the bottom. That's how I see it. All right, guys, everyone have a really good day. Let's see if this video should meet the parameters that allow me to post it on Twitter. I'm new to posting videos directly on Twitter, and I've done videos as long as 23 minutes, and we're at 21 minutes and a half. So this one should work. And I will try to do these periodically, give you guys request options for them. It would help me out if you tell me what you're looking for. So if you tell me you're in a trade or you want to do a day trade, day trade and overview is very, very different. A day trade is going to be a lot more technical, where a overview is going to be more on the daily and weekly time frame, looking at market structure, looking at the bottom, looking at the tops, looking at how much it fell. So there's they're more of a general sense. But if you didn't give me any instructions, I'm going to assume that you want just a general look at them unless you specify otherwise. So if you want something more specific, more of a day trade, more of a 2 or 3 day swing trade or something like that, let me know, and I'll be more than happy to get more in detail on the lower time frames and slap on some fibs. Look at the low time frame market structures for any type of setups, or if you're caught in a trade upside down and you're trying to wonder what to do. Also, let me know, and I can probably help you out if I could. All right, guys, have a good day.